Okay, Assalamualaikum. I'm Yuliana binti Sarudin. I would like to explain about introduction and background of research in terms of logistic issue and challenges. Previously, logistic industry is only supportive functional area. However, it is evolved to strategic industry. In developed country, United States, logistic sector is one part of critical factor of competitive advantage. In Asian Pacific region, shown high potential to logistic to expand more, includes Malaysia, Thailand and Singapore. It also indicates high demand of the effective and efficient logistic service. Then we proceed to background of research. Malaysian economy has evolved, raises the awareness of the important role of strategic distribution. If the logistics sector make an improvement, it able to achieve 12.1% to the GDP and construct additional value. There are three incentives to encourage improvement to logistics service. First, third industrial master plan, which is government targeted to increase the contribution to the GDP in the year 2020 by implement the strategies such as just-in-time system. Second, Asian, which emphasize the integrations of logistics service, include human resource development and custom facilitation. Third is Malaysian Logistic Council, which provides strategies, policies, regulations and rules associated with logistic industries in terms of maritime, land and air. There are few trends in logistic and supply chains, which is first, logistic and supply chain play an important role to create competitive advantage. Second, many manufacturers start to outsourcing their production function and outsourcing of logistics. Thank you.
My name is Nur Hidayah binti Muhammad Zamri. I will proceed with literature review. Evolution throughout the definition of logistic management development. According to the timeline, logistic management has developed from years to years. Prior to the 1980s, the scope of definition of logistic had developed from outbound logistic demand to support the organization business. Outbound logistic refers to the same for goods going out of a business. And as long as the goods services are developed according to the specific time and place, it is good enough for its physical distribution and warehouse management. The next phase is during the 1980s, inbound logistic is getting its attention to reduce costs through material management. Inbound logistic refers to the transport, storage and delivery of goods. Logistic services emphasize on internal integration and external integration, where internal integration is how the company handle the inventory. Meanwhile, external integration is how to market the product through exchange of information. During the 2000s is the era of international trade development, where innovation is necessary for supply chain management. And through the innovation, logistic concepts are more developed, such as reverse logistics. And in order to gain global competitiveness, service response logistics has become more important by gaining cost effectiveness. The next is evolution throughout the definition of supply chain management development. Since the industry globalization, the logistic development has given emphasis towards the supply chain management development, where the planning and management of all activities involved in logistics from suppliers to end users throughout a network of companies. Moreover, more research has done in the latter stage. Thank you.
My name is Jiang Kiao and I'm going to present on the methodology and result of the research. So in terms of methodology, the study was conducted through 5 preliminary telephone interviews with the logistic industry players that are representing different backgrounds in terms of positions that hold in the company, length of employment, or the industry that they represent. This interview is conducted less than an hour, and the aim is to identify the most critical problems that they face in their daily operations. So next is about the result and discussions of the research. So as for the results, we have grouped the 10 identified issues of logistic and supply chain industry into 4 major groups in terms of management, technologies, informations and assistance. So in terms of management and technologies, these are the issues and challenges in the logistic industry that are identified. For management, it's all about the implementations and planning in terms of how the follow-ups actions are taken when the issues or problems is arising in terms of logistics. So there is no proper procedures for them to follow a protocol to solve any problems and prevent it to happen again. And furthermore, the sophisticated management techniques is absent in the supply chain companies to provide and integrations among the supply chain members in the industry. The skill and trained manpower is still limited due to the lack of training that is provided to increase the competencies of the manpower. The regulatory reforms is lacking to help to facilitate the operations in the industry. And the next one is about the technology. So the problems is about the information technology and as well as the implementations of electronic data interchange, which is EDI. Although the industry has been planning on developing electronic data interchange, it has not been fully implemented. This is because the lack of trust is withholding the companies to share its information among supply chain members. Furthermore, the lack of research and development to provide some very useful methods and also solutions to the industry in order to come up with some key performance indicators and also some recommendations to solve recent issues. So, as for the informations and assistance that is received by the logistic players, there are 4 issues that are categorized into these categories. And as for the informations, the lack of disseminations of the information among the companies is really an issue to help to provide information that is benefits for the industry development. And no single established source of logistic data and informations are being established. There should be a portal or a platform for industry and practitioners to access to these informations, and as well as the assistance. Due to the late attention that is received by the logistic industry, there is lacking of assistance to be provided to the local service providers and as well as the support given to automobile industry in terms of just-in-time implementations. Finally, these are the categorizations from the structures of logistics and supply chain issues identified in the industry. Factors that causes these issues are due to the policy-related issue in terms of how government is implementing and also amending the policies will really impact the logistic players efficiently provide services due to the changes in terms of the procedures, regulatory reforms, actions or conditions to be fulfilled. Furthermore, in terms of operational and supply chain logistics, the issues is about the flow and storage of goods. So the lacking of skillful trained manpowers and also the sophisticated management techniques or even lacking of R&D, all these are actually impacting on the efficiencies to develop and provide the services to the multinationals companies. And this will really reduce the competitiveness of the logistic industry in Malaysia. So in terms of service response logistics, it is about how the feedback is provided and also improvement to be done. And this is lacking in the industries, and also it is linked to the information logistics on how the informations are being shared among different companies in order to provide a synergy or integrations to be developed among the supply chain members. Due to the lack of trust, it is really reduced the efficiencies for the implementations of electronic data interchange, and this will really reduce the possibility to establish useful database for further research. And above all, these are the major issues that is causing less efficient development of logistic and supply chain industry in Malaysia. Thank you.
My name is Lim Jawan. I will continue with the case study entitled Transitory Just in Time at Proton Cost in Malaysia. I'll proceed into the issues and challenges of logistic and supply chain of proton cost. Firstly, limitation of strategic just-in-time approach that poses risk to proton. Although just-in-time is implemented by proton, the lack of transportation infrastructures limits its full implementation. Secondly, challenges of coordinating the single, double, and multiple sourcing for parts. The single sourcing for parts will develop close supplier relationship. However, when the trust has broken, it might cause loss due to the switching cost to other supplier. Thirdly, lack of technologies and efficiencies of the local vendors. This will impact the capabilities of Proton to achieve its quality requirements and target for global competitiveness. Fourthly, inefficiencies of communication with vendors and suppliers in achieving synergy. This is a challenge to Proton to ensure real-time information sharing and efficient communication. Solution taken by Proton dealing with the issues and challenges. First one would be implementation of transitory just-in-time. There is more emphasis on the transitory just-in-time than the strategic just-in-time strategy being implemented. Secondly, strategic alliance. In order to achieve technology transfer, Proton has allowed strategic alliance with foreign companies to acquire new machines or process technology. Thirdly, single or dual source supplier. This approach is due to the low trust between Proton and its supplier. By implementing dual source supplier, this will allow competition between the supplier and benefit Proton in terms of acquiring lower costs and achieving the corporate objective of the company. Next will be the strategic inventory management. This includes trade-off between safety stock and frequent deliveries, synchronized supply of parts, and implementation of material requirements planning system. Lastly would be the vendor development program. This is a program being developed to assist the local vendors to achieve their efficiencies and effectiveness in achieving the global competitiveness of Proton. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Fu Susan, and now I would like to present about the conclusion. First, lack of trust among the industry players is the major issue and challenge of logistics and supply chain industry in Malaysia. Second, government roles as the intermediaries for such integration is very important to develop the logistics and supply chain industry in Malaysia. By having integrating the industry player within the logistics and supply chain industry would be a clear visibility of the industrial performance standard and gap for improvement. And now I'll proceed to the recommendations. Actually, we have come out with some suggestions and recommendations to reduce several negative impacts that occur from development of logistics and supply chain practice in Malaysia. First, proper implementation of just-in-time approach can improve the effectiveness and efficiency of the logistic company. Besides that, by upgrading of engineering knowledge, technical and management skill can enhance the problem solving such as delay delivery and product error. Build a close relationship between the manufacturers and vendors can ensure the integration of the supply chains to reduce the uncertainty due to the changing market.